What's up, YouTube? In today's video, I'm going to talk about how I legally made $2,500 on Cash App just by selling a digital product. So I've been going like all around, basically to different targets. And this is Cash App. I don't know what I could go over like my Venmo. Really, the main one I use is like Venmo, Apple Cash, but my Cash App I think was my biggest one, so that's why I'm making a video about that. So we made $2,500 with that, just going to different targets, and we went to Target, Walmart, and the mall, and it took me probably, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, 3 months. Yeah, 3 months of actively. Wait, was it 3 months? It may have actually been 4 months. Took me like 4 months to see those numbers on Cash App. Cash App is my biggest one, so that's why I'm making a video about it. And yeah, so on average, like on a reasonably good day, probably see like 200-300 on a good day. Cash is my second biggest. Actually, no, Cash and Cash App really my top two. But yeah, the reason I'm making a video about Cash App is because it's digital, and I feel like more people would just gravitate to digital naturally. So, on a good day, probably I see like 150. Some of my best days have been like 250 in a day, like on Cash App. And basically, I just pitch my business idea to people and ask them if they would like to try my digital product. And it's been a process. I feel like I'm at a place now where I can kind of give advice about, if you want to do this, because like it's not a bad thing to do, right? It's legal, it's positive. If you can learn how to create a digital product, I've been talking about this for a while. You can use Discord, you can use Teachable, you can use literally. Now, when you pitch your idea, make sure you tell people that even if you do have a website, tell people that you're going to email them the product directly, because you're pitching it in person. So don't have them go to a website or whatever to purchase it. Just sell it to them right there. Even if I did have a website, not to say that I do, because I don't. But yeah, so like you could use Teachable, you could use other sites can consist of like I think my Uber's about to get here, by the way, guys. So other sites can consist of like I'm trying to think, wap.com. And then to build your product, you can use YouTube. YouTube is great. And Discord, probably two of the easiest, most efficient ways. So I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this, but I have to get to my Uber, guys, so I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, guys, so I'm inside now. I'm in my room currently. So I talked to, oh, right. So we were talking about the advice that I feel like I could give to you guys if you wanted to sell digital products. I talked to like, on a good day, probably 50 to 100 people. Turnover can be really good, like 20 or, what have you. When you go to public places and you are attracting the right people, clientele to your company, my advice, definitely pray for the people that you want to attract in your business, because when you pray for the people that you do want to attract in your business, that will eventually lead to alignment. And that's why some people, like, okay, I don't know this, right? I'm a bit newer, but one thing I understand is if you put something in motion, and I learned this from studying a few different people that talk about the law of attraction. If you put certain things in motion, it stays in motion. Like, it's like what is the guy's name? I forgot the guy's name, but it's some Murphy's Law, right? What's in motion stays in motion. So if you put something in motion and you're constantly attracting positive people, the only way you're going to stop is if you completely fall off track. You know what I mean? Like, once you find what works, which is like your golden pocket, right? Once you find that golden pocket, all you have to really do is stick it through. Like, okay, I'll give you guys a good example, right? Even on a slow day, like a day that doesn't seem like, damn, like, excuse my language. If a day that doesn't seem like, okay, is this really paying off? I know to follow through now in those days. Why? Because I've had days that may have looked that way, and then maybe 3 hours goes by, right? And I close maybe 5 to 10 sales within an hour. I've done that several times. So because I've done, a few or 1 or 2 hours, whatever, high foot traffic times throughout the day, and that's just what it is, right? Like I could go to Target, which is, I'm going to be honest with you, that's a main location that I go to. I can go to Target and probably within 2 to 3 hours close above $200. So just in that, for me, that's 10 sales or more, right? Because my product is $20. Some people contribute more than 20. Shout out to all of those people who contribute anything at all. Now, this is what I will tell you, okay? Consistency, right? Consistency. Once you start to have, once you get to, this is why I feel like I can give you guys some advice. Once you get to where I'm at, where you're starting to really get some support and a nice support system, you should be super motivated. Like you should be super motivated to go and get it, because people are showing you that you have something. So when people show you that you have something, when people show you that you have a product, what do? You double down and you go hard at it, right? So that's just how I look at that, guys. So that's just, my 2 cents. Like I said, I've been doing this for up until December, like fully, not full time, but just doing it for a few hours every single day. And this is what the results that I've gotten from pushing digital products in person. And I'm grateful to be able to share some of this with you. I've gotten really good feedback. This is why I'm telling you guys that I do feel like I have some advice to give you guys when it comes to selling sales, for one, but also, if you want to create a digital product, but you don't quite know how to market it on social media, you can do it in person. It's just going to take some footwork, right? Like I walk all around, but to be honest, at the same time, even though I'm walking all around, it is work. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It is work. You do have to walk around and, talk to a lot of people. However, once you get that high foot traffic and you start to really connect with people on a psychological level, which that's why I do enjoy my product, because it's self-development. It allows me to really it's just subliminal. So it's just psyche, right? It allows me to really connect with people. And essentially, once you begin to do this, there's no real shortage. Like if you really understand and believe in your product, that's why I said foot traffic, right? Once you start talking to people, why would you stop? Like you're on a roll, you know what I mean? That's Murphy's Law. So that's that, guys, and that's my advice for selling digital products. I hope this video did help you. Like I said, you could do amazing things with this. So yeah, I've had people tell me do amazing things, big things with my product, and I definitely plan to. So that's my 2 cents of selling digital products. You could say I've made probably, to be honest, I'm not gonna say how much I've made total, but it's well over 3K. So yeah, much love, and I appreciate you guys.